Somebody give me a definition of equity. So here we go, Ivory. We're talking about equity now. What do you define equity? Anybody on the phone can give me an equity definition without going to Google on me?
What you get out of an investment.
Okay, what you get out of an investment. Good. Somebody else. Return on investment, right? ROI. Real estate folks say. Acronyms everywhere. ROI. Right? I've looked up Webster's definition. It said a right, a claim. Can you read that? Is that too small? A right, a claim, or interest existing. The money value or ownership right in a property. So, right? Something you get out of it. ROI, return on investment. And here's a simple analogy. Bought a house, it's $200,000, right? You owe, according to the lender, $80,000. Simple math. How much equity do we have in this house? Good equity, right? Good equity. So you got $120,000 of equity. So now, some context around that. Well, what does workplace equity mean? Take that definition and shift it to workplace equity. Give me some ideas.
Because an employer will invest in training a person.
Okay.
And they want the return as far as having that person come in and be reliable and get the job done.
Perfect. Great. Results. Right? How long you been at your job, Sheila?
Since 2001.
You got some equity there, right? Last 11 years. All right. What kind of equity do our clients have? I'm going to jump to this definition. This is an unwritten work ethic principle. Once again, I am very explicit with our clients about this. You will judge yourself by intent, whereas others will judge you by behavior. Just a work ethic principle here. You will judge yourself by intent, whereas others will judge you by behavior. Now, what does that have to do with workplace equity? Here's what I would propose you ask of your customers with offenses. How much workplace equity do you have when you're 15 minutes late on your first day of the job? I heard very little, right?
Zilch.
Zilch?
None.
Zero.
Negative numbers.
I heard negative, yeah. I mean, come on. You 11 years, right, Sheila? You can show up at 8:15, 8:30, 9 o'clock without having to check in or submit a leave slip, right? You got workplace equity. We've got clients that are showing up not only late on their first day of the job, they're showing up late for the interview. They're already losing. Can you see how this has value communicating this to them? From day one. I had a client last Friday in class. He said, "Will, here's my thing, man. I went to jail. I got hired at Costco. And I went to jail 2 days before they were starting me. And I tried to call him and ask him to hold the job. But I don't know why, when I came out, they had no job for me." So I said, "So you," because we were talking about what he was going to put on his application for the reason of this last deal. He said, "Yeah, I didn't get the job because they didn't hold it for me while I was in jail." Okay, so I got a lot of work to do there, Bonnie. Right? I mean, I can laugh it off and go, but am I doing him any justice going, come on, man, yeah. I got to unpack that with him. And so this is where our starting ground was for that type of response. I had to go back and say, now what is it that employers, and we really did it more on a peer-to-peer model. We let his class, the other folks in the class, tell him where he went wrong. So what is an employer looking for? For you to show up when scheduled. You have zero equity at this job. It costs employers $30,000 to turn over a minimum wage worker. you have zero equity, or as Claudia said, maybe negative equity. And persons with offenses or any red flags or concerns or big issues in their background, they've got to overcompensate. Communicate that with your clients. Let them know that workplace equity analogy, and if you give it to them in context of these are the 4 criteria that you got to meet, not only for an employer, you got to meet that meeting with me. You got to meet that with me. I tell clients right now, Charlene, if you have a job that starts at 9 o'clock and you walk through the door at 9 o'clock, how long does it take for you to really get ready to start working? Because that could be coffee or hot tea. That could be, if it's winter time, that could be changing boots into shoes. That could be loading the computer, and if you have a computer like I have, it could take an extra, it might be 9:15, 9:20 before you actually start work. That's a violation of the be engaged principle for people that have zero workplace equity. And I can't tell you how many times clients come into appointments and go, yeah, but I was at the soda machine. But our appointment was at 1 o'clock. I need you here at 1 o'clock. Right? So now, when you look at those 4 big things again, I remind you, share them with your clients up front, share them with the employers. It's a two-way street with those. They're working. It just helps to make accountability for the client, and it really helps clear the directives.